We are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. I don't know what's going on. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. And we do that in a lot of different ways. One of the main ways we do that, though, is by playing a lot of games that are coming out and then sitting down and talking to the designer of those games about what our experience was. And that's what we're going to be doing today with Flabbergasted. Flabbergasted is a RPG that's coming out on Kickstarter next month. Lots of times we have the designer run for us. We weren't able to work that out today, but they will be joining us at the end of our actual play to talk with us about our experience. Flabbergasted takes us back to an alternate version of the 1920s that is set in the city of Picadillo, and you are part of an up-and-coming social club, which you kind of design as you go, and you play characters of 4 different classes. We were talking right before we went live, though it is not a Forged in the Dark systems. It's got a lot of the same kind of mechanical feels to it while having an entirely different flavor and style of play. We're actually going to do a lot of the character creation and club creation live because it's an important part of what makes this game so amazing. And we've got a special guest GM with us, so let's go ahead and meet them first, and then we'll go around to everybody else. Sam, tell people who you are, what you do, and where they can find you online.
Hi, my name is Bubblegum Sam, he and he. You can find me on Bubblegum Sam on itch.io and Twitter. I make games about everyday people and ludicrous violence. There's a lot of overlap between the two. So yeah, I also made quite a few nuanced Christian games, RPGs. So if you're into that, by all means, join me.
That's awesome. And I am. It's one of my favorite things that you make. I love every single time you release one. I love picking those up. Sam, you're also working on a project connected to the stream right now. You're doing a little thing for Down We Go. Do you want to tell people about that?
Yeah, I'm doing events and holidays. So far, the drafts have. I'm quite happy with the drafts. It'll add a nice spice of grim soberness to your game, as well as absurd, wacky stuff. So everything in between. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I have loved all the drafts I've seen also too. I'm super excited about it. Let's hop over to Danielle. Danielle, tell people who you are, where they can find you online, and anything else you want people to know.
Yeah, I'm Danielle Bilta, and you can find me at Biltahouse on Twitter, which is, so that's a pun, I'm not in construction, but yeah, so I'm kind of just an RPG enthusiast right now. I haven't written anything for it, but I do enjoy getting to go and play all of these amazing games. So that is what I'm here for.
Always glad to have you. And then joining us for the first time, and it was a very, very quick fill-in, and happy birthday. We have Jen. Jen, tell people who you are, where they can find you online, and what's been the best part of your birthday so far today?
Well, thank you for having me. Yes, my name's Jen. I'm one of the people who constantly prod Sam to do bullshit stuff. And yeah, here I'm in Malaysia. I have a day job in a university, but I do try to design board games. I'm kind of active in the board game design scene here, and that's where Sam and I started talking to each other and stuff like that. And the best part of my birthday today, I started the day by making a chili sin carne. It's one of the things I do occasionally, and I make sure it's spicy and hot. And I just love putting it on my nachos and rice and whatever stuff that I have, any grains I have lying around. So that was definitely one of the highlights of my day. And just coming onto the stream relatively impromptu. That's great, man. I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm super excited to have you here with us and to play with us. It's absolute blast to meet new people. It's one of my favorite things about getting to play here on Plus One Stream is playing with people from all over the world. So I'm actually, after we cover safety stuff, just going to hand things over to Sam, who's going to be running for us today. So normally we have the designers run, but like I said, Sam has stepped in and taken on the mantle of GM, which I'm super thrilled by, and can't wait to see how he runs Flabbergasted. So we always use a couple safety tools here on the channel. They are lines, veils, and the X card. Lines are things that may happen in the world of our game that don't happen in our game. Veils are things that may happen in the course of our game, but we handle them delicately or in a specific way when they come up. And then X is the ability for anyone to pause the game at any point in time by just saying or typing in X. And that lets us stop, pause, identify what the issue is, but no explanations about why it bothers you are necessary. And then we'll move forward in a different direction. It could be that a name is going to be particularly distracting for you. It could be that you find a piece of content objectionable, but we're just going to identify what it is and then move on in a different direction. If we need to, we can also add some of that content to the lines or veils, because those should be living documents and conversations that evolve over the course of play. There's also a couple kind of things that we'll do at the beginning to highlight where we want the games to go, but I'm going to let Sam take us through all that as part of our toolkit also. So with that said, Sam, I'm going to hand things over to you.
Okay, cool. In the last 10 seconds, I created a Excel something in the Google Sheets for safety, which I forgot to do, but hey, that's fine. So we have, let's just go through expectations and boundaries. So if you go over to safety, which is in our sheet, we have green, yellow, and red. So green is for stuff we want in the game, stuff we're excited about. It can be anything. Doesn't really have to be anything like concerned with safety. We have yellow, which is like, hey, why don't you ask first? So let's take a slow down. And red, which is absolutely nothing of that sort. So if anybody wants to like speak out right now, go ahead and add it to the speak it out and add it to the list.
Yeah, so we have a strong line against sexual violence on the channel. That's an always thing. So we can go ahead and put that in. And I'm going to share this up on the screen just so people can see it. We're big fans of accountability and safety tools on stream, but also around your table. So these are good conversations to have to be aware of anytime you're playing. I'm going to go ahead and type this. I want my character at some point to fall down in a funny way.
All right. Danielle, Yijian.
I just put down eye injuries as a line. That's just like a thing. But now I want to come up with something fun for green. So think about that.
I don't know. I feel I'm quite okay with anything. So yes, let's just continue on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and we'll keep those open in the background, so if we need to add something, we can. But this is our character keeper also, too, with all of our characters on it, which we're going to be finishing up as we go.
Yeah. So yeah, once you've done this, we've done the safety. Let's go over to the characters. Tony and Danielle have already written in some stuff for the most part. But since Yijian hasn't, we will go through it step by step. So basically, traits are your basic RPG stats. You got bravado and persuasion. You got culture and etiquette, if I'm pronouncing that right. We got wit and sharp. And we got creativity and passion. I feel that these are quite self-explanatory. The rule set, the PDF itself, does encourage you to kind of bullshit out as you come along. So it really depends on how you want to explain it. So the Bohemian for you, Yijian, you start out with 2 in creative and passion, and you get to add 5 points across the 4 traits. So if you want to dump 2 extra points in creativity and passion, you can, or if you want to put the 5 other points in the other traits, you can. So yeah,
2
go ahead and do that.
Okay.
5 more, yeah.
5 more.
5 more across the board. Yeah.
And that's gonna determine the amount of dice we roll whenever we make a roll.
I see some people. I see. Phineas has already put in more stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that does everybody get 5 more? Or is that depending on your? Okay.
You two get. Yeah, you also get. In addition to that, we also got name, played by a space for you to put your actor or a picture of your character in if you wish. Relationship status, which so like single, married, divorced, separated, that kind of thing. Profession, aka your job, and you got age and flaw. I copy pasted the list of flaws from the PDF onto the Google Docs if you want to use it. But these don't have any mechanical things. It's just mechanical effect. It's just for you to have a good idea of what your character is flawed at.
I will say, even just in the quick start, some of the extra lists that are in there. My favorite one so far is the list of 1920s slang, in case you just don't know it. But the flawless was really good also.
All right. So yeah, you go ahead and fill that out. So yeah. Let's see what else we have. We got background, which is quite self-explanatory. Who you are, where you come from. Go ahead and write in one sentence for that. Yeah, and dilemma as well. So Tony, your character Phineas. All right, hold on. Let me adjust the settings so it all fits within the paragraph. There we go.
Yeah, I'm horrible at Excel, and I was like, I know I should know how to do this so it actually looks like it's a paragraph, but I don't. And so,
oh wait, you grew up with a parent in the employ of, I'm assuming, the aristocrat.
I think I think Danielle is going to be my employer more than likely.
All right. All right.
That works. Are you like the driver or something?
I'm a valet. But yeah, I also wrote my character as I am. Depending on your age, because we can flex this. My envisioning was, I somewhat grew up alongside you, and because my parent was employed in the household, view this more as a friendship, even though I am now your employee also too, and so don't always consider the classist realities that we are constantly confronted by. Then that's my character's perspective. Your character does not have to have the same perspective. If you go slightly older, we can finesse that out also too.
No, I think slightly younger actually, and I like that.
I actually like that's even got a better feel, because then I'm the older of the two of us, and therefore it creates a little bit more of a, this is why I feel like an equal and not subservient as much as I probably should.
Yeah. I definitely think there's probably a getting me out of scrapes / right. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Do you two have like because it's around the same age, right? Do you guys have like do your characters have a bit of a will they thing, or is it like a Frasier Ross type situation?
Oh, I was thinking more Frasier Ross, definitely.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, wait, I will hold up this stream to argue about whether or not Frasier Ross is a will they won't say. I will.
No, they're not.
I don't want to open that can of worms, because I will go all day on that.
I did not like the episode where they slept together. That was not in character.
I know, but I just anyway, I can't talk about how platonic male-female relationships like build better quality bases for realistic relationships.
And I think that's the thing. I do. Yeah, I think this is not a we find each other repulsive, repugnant thing. This is a friendship, but also employer-employee relationship to some degree also too. And so a lot of great Frasier overlaps, but we'll come back for a Frasier role playing session sometime in the future.
Oh no, there's so much overlap with Frasier. Okay.
Okay. Wow, nice to know we've all watched Frasier. That's great.
But yeah, and then I put that my dilemma is that I am in debt to a number of local card houses and have been paying off debts with my employer's property. And so I think this is an unbeknownst thing. Like, I've just paid attention to the uncherished items around the house that are worth a lot of money, and have been using those to pay off my debts.
Oh no! All right. Why don't you introduce yourself as well? Since you're connected to.
Hey Sam, it also looks like, sorry, real quick. It looks like I lost the text to a guiding hand also too.
A guide in hand. Oh, okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna copy paste.
No, I just wanted to let you know real quick.
That's okay. Me, Jen, we'll get to like the actual mechanics once you're done with your character, because it's quite simple. Let me just copy paste it.
Danielle, you gotta go ahead though.
Yeah. So I'm playing the aristocrat, which her name is Pandora G. Wertenstein. which is a real mouthful. But she goes Pandora, but Dora to her friends. She likes to do that. And I think she just really enjoys, has a kind of positive view, is not yet totally aware of all of the problems and, things that one should be aware of if you have all that privilege and status, but has a kind of sunny ability to uses it to try and get out in the world. Like her flaw is being a snoop. She just really loves knowing what people are doing and has to find out. And I think potentially that is a lot of like having a friendship with Phineas is a lot like, let me know what's going on, what's happening. And like, no matter who somebody is, she's really interested by artists and the world outside of, this kind of like very stuffy society. I had her mother being a minor Romanian noble who got married to American banking royalty. So I think she has this kind of American idea of like equality, but like heavy air quotes, but she technically has a title. So I think her dilemma is like avoiding her mother trying to set her up with some like trying to draw her into this society. So she's like trying to avoid some kind of arranged marriage by being, or like getting sucked into this European nobility scene. That's kind of her dilemma by being as aggressively like American and unsuitable as possible, I think. So I think that's why she probably is diving into the social club head first. Like, yes, I'm doing stuff. I'm busy. I don't have time.
All right. Eugen, you have a decent idea of like who your character is in like broad strokes?
I'm still kind of like playing around with ideas. Like,
pitch them to us.
Could be a kind of like Jack Dawson, like itinerant artist.
Oh.
I like that.
Could be a Jack Sparrow.
Why not both?
Yeah, or why not both?
Yeah.
Jack Dawson Sparrow.
Yeah.
Jack Dawson Sparrow. Jack the Sparrow Dawson. Okay. But I don't know how like I would be connected to all of you folks.
It could
just
be
yet.
that it could just be like the nature of our club. Like it's something that maybe you're really good at or are interested in.
Yeah.
But I Jack Dawson is very evocative. Like that definitely puts a whole frame of mind.
Well, and also I think we don't have to figure out how like all three of us are entangled.
Right,
What we really need to figure out is how you're entangled with one of us. But I also think the social club is a good way to do that. And if it's like if you represent like creative American freedom, and that is a strong desire of Dora's, like it could just be that she became aware of your work, or that like that there's some sort of connection there also too. Like she went to a show that you had some had crashed and were just showcasing your portraits at or whatever.
Yeah. So you want to be a painter, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Cool.
go for it.
All right.
I'll put in here painter.
You don't have to get in too detailed now. You can always fill in
That's
details as we go along.
Stephen Bateman over on Facebook says, "Look at that character sheet." Sam, did you just whip up this character keeper?
In like 1 hour, yes.
I'm always so amazed at people who can do that because it's not a skill that I have. But I will say the actual like the PDF is gorgeous also too, and the character sheets are very well laid out.
Yeah. It is better to have everything there so everybody can be like can be can bother other people and just go like, your character has a flaw. Go ahead and add in a dilemma if you can think of anything, as well as any mementos, items they have.
So like combination of Jack Sparrow and Jack Dawson.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe like a compass.
All right. Description would be like physical description, but you can always just put in a picture of the actor you wish to play yourself in.
Um,
Yeah.
I was just thinking as a joke, maybe you should put in Leon Kennedy.
Yeah, go ahead. I was gonna stop you.
Okay, like dilemma, like probably one like Jack Sparrow had the dilemma of trying to get back the Black Pearl. Jack Dawson desperately wanted to get across to America. Is that a kind of like in between team?
They both have ships. They're both associated with ships.
Yeah, kind of like. But
You
I,
wanna be-
I, I don't think I.
Is there something where it's a tug between, like Sparrow had to tug between selling out everybody he knows and achieving his goal? Like, is there something
Well,
that
okay,
you
that's-
could gain by selling all of us out? You know, your dilemma is like whether or
That's
not.
like third movie, not
Oh,
first movie. Jack
Yeah.
Sparrow.
I wonder.
Okay.
I also wonder, like, what if it is just? I mean, because I think part of the play there is the ship thing is fun, but what if you're just trying to get passage home? Like you
Yeah,
got.
okay.
What if you're stuck here?
Yeah.
All right,
In
trying.
Europe.
Like essentially,
Ooh.
you don't have a ship.
Yep, some sort of passage outright. Okay.
You're entangled with the local, the local crime lords. They can't leave.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. Up to you.
Well, it could be the case that it's just prohibitively expensive.
And you're Bohemians, so
Yes,
you're poor.
and I can't I can't get myself out of trouble enough.
All right. Okay, cool. I mean, once we have that down, I can explain how the mechanics work. As Tony mentioned before, it's quite simple. It's a lot like Blades in the Dark. You roll dice, an amount of dice equal to the amount of points in a trait. For example, a Bohemian, you have 4 points in creativity and passion. So whenever you want to do anything related to creativity and passion, you just roll 4d6, and every 5 and 6 is a success, and there are 3 levels of success. Let me just sort of like look back at what's so we have 1 success would be a moderate difficulty. To get past a challenging difficulty, there will be 2 successes, and daunting would be 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. That's it. But yeah, let's see what else. We also have statuses, which is just healthy, scuffed, and injury. I'll just dish these out to you, or you can dish these out to yourself, depending on when you fail the roll or if you want to take a consequence to do something. We have monies. The handbook doesn't really detail the specifics of how we're going to use monies, but we're just gonna use it ad hoc, where to see depending on the situation. We also have the lucky coin. The lucky coin is whenever someone does something like really cool, really funny, or like stand out, we just give them a lucky coin, and they can solve you get a maximum of 3, and when you spend it, you just untick it. Basically, you can flip a coin for 50-50 chance of success. So it's, for example, if let's say I give you a level 3, a daunting challenge, and you can just choose to flip a coin and have it be done with, instead of instead of like rolling with your dice. Lastly, we also have scene cues. Now, these are like story beats. Once you spend them, they automatically give you a success. Whether or not this success will lead to severe consequences is up to the context, but you can just use it however you wish. Usually at the beginning of the game, on the official character sheet, you can just you select 4 of your own, but here I just gave you the first 6 on the character sheet, and then you can tick them off one by one, depending on which one you want to use. So let's say you tick it off, it's considered a use, and you can do this 4 times, with one use per scene cue. So go ahead and read through those. Depending on this context, and depending on your actions, and depending on which scene cues you use, your scandalous and dignified meter will go to and fro. So if you do something particularly scandalous, whether it's on your scene cue or not, you'll go move like 1 or 2 points towards scandalous. And I know the help has a very dignified. The help has quite a few dignified moves. you have around 2, so there's higher chance of you like becoming more dignified as the game goes on, and this refers to your social status. Any questions so far?
Nope.
All right. So yeah, this is a lot like Blades in the Dark.
Does that
Sorry,
mean
go
that I
ahead.
can pick any of the scene cues that are listed on the character keeper then?
Yeah. I decided just keep it simple. Yeah, but you can only use it 4 times.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
with
we're picking one, and where you can use it up to 4 times.
No. You can pick. You only can use one once.
Each one once, but we can use up to 4. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. Okay, great.
Cool. That's fine. All right. You guys good with going on to building the club?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so now's the time for all 3 of you to decide what club you have. Who is the president, vice president, and treasurer? Don't worry about the staff roles, although you can fill them in if you want. Just add in NPCs if you wish. When you start the game, you have 0 funds and 3 members, which is the 3 of you. So yeah, most importantly, what is your club's name and what do you guys do? This can be anything from tea brewing, chess playing. If you want to do your own role-playing game group, you also can.
Okay, so we're gonna be a D&D group.
1920. Wizards
And so
isn't
we're gonna
supporting this
start
channel,
rolling.
so we've got to come up with a nice off-brand name for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I love it. Anybody have any ideas about what would be a fun, given our backgrounds, kind of a fun overlap there?
Paranormal occult. Paranormal
Occult
investigation club.
I love
can also do
that
that.
actually.
That's kind of great. I do like that.
So you're gonna investigate for ghosts.
Does
Yep.
that just mean that we go to creepy places and kind of like hang out?
Yoinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
creepy places and hang out, like crash, like weird spiritualist meetings that are happening, like in the scene. I think there's a lot of fun there.
Yep. A big part of the game is secret societies. So yeah, let's go in that direction.
Freemasonry,
Masonry.
satanic rituals.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
we
a
have
bit of
we have
Sorry?
a weird do we have a weird initiation process?
I actually love the idea. It's just very normal. It's like our process is very normal compared to like what we imagine is happening out there. And so like it happens in a very creepy place, but like you just get in there and then it's like, yeah, just sign this. Like and so any thoughts on roles?
But could we be just before we go there, before we go there, like could we be a rationalist paranormal investigation club? So we're there to prove science.
Oh, like we're like an anti-paranormal investigator club.
We're an anti-paranormal club. That's
I'm 100% down with more of a like we think there's a rational explanation for all these things, and so that's our intent behind it. I like that.
I'll be since I'm the painter, I'll be like your scientific like sketch
Ooh.
artist.
Yeah.
always like,
And I'll be documenting stuff.
That'd be great. As the snoop, I can be the person that gets us into, because the thing is, like, I remember spiritualism was a thing that a lot of like well-to-do people did. So if I'm like, oh yeah, some friend of mine is hosting a seance, we should totally go crash it. Like, but I like the idea of vice president, because it said it's mostly for show and it's pretty meaningless. And
So
absolutely just want to be I'm vice president. Thank you very much.
Does that make Phineas the president?
I think so. I think given Phineas's vice, he would like to be the treasurer. However, I'm 100% down with the reversal of like of Dora being like, no, you're in charge.
Yeah.
you do it if we want to go that route also too.
Well, maybe the president is the treasurer, unless Jack is the president. Like, is this an interest of his? Like, are you the rationalist that we formed this around, or?
No. I'm a definite bohemian. I'm here because you guys hired me,
Oh, okay.
and maybe I
So-
get to pick at like special my flaw is that I'm light fingered, so I might just steal a treasure or two when we come across.
Wow, you both are so full of crime. I love that.
Hey, wait, is the investigation thing just an excuse to go into places and steal things?
I'm not saying it's
Of course not. No. Why would you ever say that?
Why would you ever say that?
Yeah, if Dora's like, this would be such a cool thing to do, Phineas, be in charge. Be in charge of it.
I like that feels. So
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. So pause for a second. So there are three of us. So can this game run with three people, or do we need? Okay. So we don't have the well-to-do with us.
correct.
I mean, you can always switch around the member roles. I think it doesn't really
Okay.
affect anything mechanically. You can, because I mean, titles are arbitrary.
So a quick gaming question here. Do we need to sock puppet a well-to-do character?
No. No. It can just be the three of you.
Yeah.
It does feel like I guess we can just say that the president, who is our absent well-to-do party member, is now busy, so the vice president is effectively leading it.
Oh, you can make that your big trouble. Like on your last investigation, your president went missing. Whoa.
Do we want to do that? That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Because then that lets me just do this.
What?
I can just be the bartender.
All right, cool. Why don't you name your president? In which case, like, just give them the name and then put down like the president is missing under big trouble.
How about ransom?
Like ransom. Oh.
You got that one out quickly.
All right, cool. Yeah. So when we start the game, you guys only have 4 members. The idea is that as you gain renown, you have members added. So like 10 per level of renown. It's quite interesting. But yeah, go ahead and write down your club name, the theme, and your location, aka your hideout, and 1 or 2 rival clubs. So the rival clubs can even be like the pro paranormal spiritualist society, or it can be a society of the same interests. So yeah. Any idea? Yep.
Are we just, since we're trying to disprove, are we just the normalists?
Normies.
I kind of like the anti-paranormal club.
That's very modern.
That's a very like 2010s reference.
But I keep that keeps amusing me as well. But I do like the normalists as well.
Maybe that's just I think anti-paranormalist, but everybody else is just like, that just makes you the normalist. Like I don't understand. Why is your name so complicated?
We're cooler than
all of the ingredients. Very important. Very important.
Where do we meet at?
A church,
a salon,
a university salon.
Ooh.
A salon, university.
Like a university college drinking room, like
drinking room.
Yeah, is there a library that we're just like the scourge of these librarians? That we're always reserving the room.
Is there like a smoking room in the library?
I mean, I think in the 1920s, every room was a smoking room if you wanted it to be. And so
that is true. Well, what are you smoking? Oh wait, never mind. Twitch standards. Standards. Sorry.
What are our rival clubs?
Ooh, definitely the actual occult club, like whatever that is.
Yeah, Yeah, literally witches and Satanists. Okay.
Or like, well, like or just no, more like a spiritist. I feel like
Yeah.
every time they have a seance, we just give them a hard time, like more like a yeah, that kind of, sort of a hobbyist idea of like a hobbyist interest in spiritualism. So I'm trying to think of a name.
I wrote down the borders, like if they are if they are using like very rudimentary like spirit boards, which would have been like very much a thing at this point in time. Could be a thing.
Borders.
Yeah.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Every week they meet up, in the library, and they lay out these grid maps with wooden miniatures. Yeah.
Representing the other world.
Very underworld,
into.
Yeah. They fight beholders and other such magical creatures. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
And then
I wanted to say, like,
LARPers.
I wanted to say the more like regional joke would be the rival club to the borders would also be an Asian club called Kinokuniya.
Yeah, the Kinos. Yeah, but let's not. Yeah, you can do that actually if you want. But
So,
I think for the session we'll probably be able to only focus on like one rival club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either
That's
that
just-
or
yeah.
like the other like philosophy club. Maybe the actual rationalists don't like us either.
The nihilists.
They're like, you're not actually doing rationalism. You're just crashing people's parties and making everybody upset. Please
Yeah.
stop.
We're like, you would come out of your ivory tower and get down here. We're really proving things.
Yeah,
They named the I Love Science Facebook group.
No, that's not good. Oh yeah, also come up with a slogan if you can think of one.
Let's be workshopping that the entire session in character.
Cool.
We can try out different slogans as we go.
All right. So okay, now that we've gotten the idea of a club down, and we know our big trouble, which is Ransom Devereaux is missing. We can write down one or two public challenges, or even two or three public challenges, posited to you from other rival clubs. For example, the borders can be like, oh no, ghosts exist. There's a ghost in that castle or something, and you have to go check it out. Up to you, and then we'll pick one or two of those to pursue this session. So yeah, why don't you guys do that? I've been accidentally drinking a lot because my throat is dry, so I'll be with you in a moment.
I do like the just sheer logistic hurdle of we booked the reading room as a challenge.
Like we share the same space.
Yeah, like a lot of clubs are wanting to on the campus are trying to use this space. But yeah, let's pick one that. Do we have an idea for a paranormal event that's been happening that we want to go investigate?
I was thinking of, since I was mentioning Kinokuniya, I was thinking of like an Asian themed like masquerade ball.
Ooh, I like that. What would be a good thing to build up around that?
And something paranormal that was going on. I'm trying to draw on some Asian folklore. Around parties, people have been saying that they've traveled to another level of consciousness that kind of looks like the Far East,
Okay.
but with more stuff going on. Okay, maybe that.
So is somebody like hosting a party that's designed to do this? Like they're throwing a big event that is supposed to be some sort of consciousness elevating or raising party? Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So what do you guys have so far?
Tony, could you repeat that for Sam?
Yeah, so we were talking about what we could do. The concept is that like people have been claiming that have like this spiritual experience at certain parties that kind of elevates them to another level of consciousness. Jim mentioned like there's some Far East elements like to it potentially. But somebody is trying to host a large party, proposing that this will be a good opportunity for anybody who wants to elevate to that next level of consciousness.
All right.
I was imagining this would be like a monthly thing but like invites are like very selective or expensive.
It's like an eyes white shut thing, but with like Orientalists.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like consciousness altering stuff. But
okay, this feels like very Orientalist, and I'm good with that. You know, I get to say that because I'm Chinese.
I'm going to default to the two of you being comfortable with that.
Okay.
That
we know, like, you know, there is a lot of Shinoseri in French during that period. Or
Yeah. So I mean, both of us are cool with it. For those watching, if you don't want it, you can just.
It doesn't have to be our only public challenge.
Yeah, it can be other things, but I'm totally down with making fun of Orientalism. Yeah. So do you guys have any?
As long as we pause to clarify numerous times, there are two Southeast Asian players are the ones who are like, we're on board with this. And so.
I think this should be self-explanatory, but yeah. Anyway, any other ideas for public challenges, and then we
also wrote down we booked the reading room, like the concept that there's a whole lot of people on campus who want to meet in the space that we normally meet in, and that is that scheduling challenge is a reality.
The only other thing I thought of was just like there's a local haunted house of some kind that they've been holding like seances at, and we are trying to go debunk it because we think that they've set it up to I want to go find all the string and the lights and stuff in there.
All right, cool. I think before we get to the public challenges, we'll go through the Act 1. So for Flabbergasted, they divide each episode into 3 acts, and we'll start with the first act, and then at the end of the first act, we'll decide which challenge you'll wanna pursue. But first of all, I think for me as a GM, I'd like to put forth some expectations, or at least the way I usually like to do things, which is because I didn't prep for this, and because I like improv. So what's going to happen is, if you have any better or any like more exciting ideas, or anything you want to suggest at any point, whether it's for successes, failures, or how the story should go ahead and speak it out. At some certain points when my brain goes blank, I can probably go like, okay, Tony, you failed. Why don't you describe for all of us how you failed?
Yeah.
And then you can go ahead and take the wheel. I'm just here to facilitate and play NPCs and sort of like try my best to escalate the story. Don't be afraid to like wrest control of your own narrative and make suggestions. See how it goes. Yeah. All right. So why don't we start with the opening? And the very first thing they asked us to do is recap the last session on Flabbergasted. But because we did not have a previous episode/session of this, why don't we pretend that there was, and each of you describe what happened the last session that we didn't play. So this is like episode 4 of our 6-episode British ITV series. Yeah. Take it away. What happened last time?
We have to in some way, shape, or form figure out how Ransom went missing on the last one. That has to be foreshadowed. So, let's say, like, I love the idea that there's like a bridge that people were disappearing as they crossed over, and we went out to debunk that. And so, I think we see like Phineas, and maybe we even cut to like a car with each of us in it, like, and it's out in the countryside, and we see like Phineas driving, like it starts out on his driving gloves on his hands, and then kind of pans out. We see the countryside and everybody in the back seat. And I am going intentionally too fast and too wild around the curves as we go.
Mm.
All right.
And
Does anybody want to cut to another totally unrelated scene? What happened last session? You don't have to make it make sense.
yeah, I think you probably cut to Dora. I assume if Phineas is driving, that Dora and Jack are in the back seat, and I think Dora probably has like a way too large kind of fan of some kind because there's all this fog around, and she's like, paint Jack, take it down, because like I think there was like a disappearing outline, so she's yelling at you, who I assume you have like a kind of sketch pad out or something. I'm like, make it, and the fog is not clearing or something, and I'm trying to like, it's just like this big failure of some kind is happening.
Don't blame me, blame the absinthe last night.
It's like, I thought it would sharpen our senses to you.
Well, we've totally debunked that.
I'll put it on the list. And I pull out a small thing, and on the top of the notepad, it's like things debunked. And like on the list, it's just like Phineas's tolerance, like other absinthe claims. Nothing. There's not a single like paranormal thing on the list. It's just like my ability to eat, 7 cucumber sandwiches in a row.
Yeah, sure. You Jack, would you like add any no context scene to the recap?
I'm trying to think of like a failed Titanic scene where like I get get kicked out of a boat or something like that for slandering with women of other young heiresses, but I don't know where to put it into. Yeah, totally random, but yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. And then we cut to this episode with no explanation about how those things were resolved or how they connect to the overall story. But that's okay. Now we start off with downtime, which is before the main storyline begins, each player has a chance to have a solo scene. Although I think this doesn't have to be a solo scene, you guys can be together. Think about this, just describe your day-to-day, or like what are your day-to-day stuff, or like explain how your current investigations are going. Just like where are you at the start of this episode? Do you guys want to be together or apart? And just sort of like explain that, build on that,
I think we see Phineas like at like outside of a local, like wherever Dora is, I'm outside, and I'm on top of the hood of the car. I am playing cards with the other valets. And just kind of like I am it's very obvious to the audience that I am cheating them, cheating at cards as we go.
Should I stumble into the scene like half dressed and clearly inebriated?
Yeah, sure.
Like, well, it's Phineas, right? Phineas, you gotta get Dora out. Like, people, me, help.
Sure. Shove Jack and like I'll like I just like sweep all the money into my, like, we don't finish the hand. I just like sweep all the money and cards into like my pocket. And I was like, we'll finish later. And then like I like push Jack into the back of the car, and I lean in and I just start laying on the horn.
And Dora's inside, like doing her weekly like get together with her mom and aunts and all these ladies, like in a very, very powdery sort of like clothes, and everything is very lace, and she's sipping tea, and she's like, as a lady's talking about things. So I assume we see her in there. But go
building
ahead.
on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to ask, right? because you did mention your dilemma as being put into arranged marriage. Who is your mom trying to set you up with now?
I think she's trying to set me up with like a really stuffy kind of Eastern European dude. I'm not sure like what his deal is, and I'm like, I know that we're kind of sort of avoiding World War I things, but like I think that like he's just like, you know, she doesn't know what his loyalties are like. But I think he's just like a very, you know, I'm trying to think of like a good German name, like Karl von Schwarzkopf or something like that. And he's
Schwarzkopf, yes.
Schwarzkopf, and he's, you know, always like with the braid and the stuffiness, and she's like, oh, it's very good, you know, my second cousin knew their second cousins, and they would always holiday in Vienna, and I'm just like, oh, I have nothing in common with that. And he's always like lumbering and standing too close and asking if I've read you know, the German poets, and I'm just like, yes, I know. And just throwing out random like phrases like, ah, yes, Engels, exactly.
Is he hot though? Is he hot? Is he played by Matthew Good or like a very like
oh no,
suave, charming? No,
he could be suave and charming. He could be suave and charming. I think yes, probably, but I think so suave and charming, but like seems slightly menacing of some kind. Like I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Like could be a potential villain for the episode. I'll keep that in mind. All right, so yeah, you come out.
We're probably in one of those like conversations about like German poetry. And then I'm like taking a sip. He's like, oh, what are you involved in? And I'm like, and then I hear the horn just blasting through this. I'm like, actually, I'm just so busy right now. And I'm like, I hand the teacup to my mom as I'm like, I have to go. Bye. This was so lovely.
You leave before he gets to tell you about his own club doings. But yeah, we leave it at that. Yeah. Jack, what was the thing you called everybody for?
Oh, wait. Wait, hold on. We're in the car right now, right?
Yeah, we're in the car right now. It's your Phineas is racing along the streets of Peccadillo.
But just to set the scene, I like tuck in my clothes, and then I'm not actually drunk. It's just a grift for Phineas to like just grab all the money.
Are you splitting it 50-50 or?
Yeah, I gotta ask, like, where's my cut?
And I toss I just reach in my pocket and like toss a handful of like money and coins back into the back at him.
You still owe me, but okay.
Guys, I thought, thanks for getting me out of that. I had to talk to Carl again, but he gives me the creeps, but like maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Anyway, what's up? Is this it? Is this what you honked the horn through my mom's tea for?
I mean, you told me you wanted me to get you out of there after 20 minutes.
True. Yeah, but like I guess I didn't was it really 20 minutes? Okay.
I mean, it may have been a little longer than 20.
Okay. You okay, Jack?
Yeah. Right as rain. Yes.
Awesome. Did you and can I pull out? I think I pull out the top of the newspaper that I grabbed as I was running out. I was like, did you guys see this? And it's another headline, you know, off to the side about what like a local, like another disappearance that happened. I'm like, are you guys keeping track of that? You haven't heard anything from Ransom yet either?
I mean, not since that day on the bridge. He said he'd be right back.
Okay. Well, I will have to keep saving these, and I think I'm just like folding it up and stuffing it in a bag with more newspaper clippings.
I would say that you have identified the disappearances to the recent string of disappearances to 3 different occurrences in Pacadillo. One was the reading room in the university, where one of the students, a friend of yours, disappeared after booking a room. Another one was someone else joined one of these elevated spiritual enlightenment parties and also went missing afterwards. Another one is someone went to a group from a rival club, aka the Rationalists. They went into a local haunted house, rumored to be spooked by an ancient ghost. So you basically have 3 avenues to explore this session.
I mean, I think we've got to get to the reading room before we lose our spot. Like, if we don't get there quick, like I say this as I'm like tearing down the streets. Like, we see people like stepping out into the road, and me like laying on the horn and like zooming past them at the ungodly speed of like 30 miles an hour or whatever, is way too fast at this point in human history. I think we've only got about 10 minutes before the boarders are going to show up and try to take it from us.
Well, I do believe there is a liquor cabinet that the professors do use, that we could perform that absinthe experiment again, because it's scientific that we, one experiment does not make a fact.
Well, and we need a control this time, so maybe you don't take the
Absolutely.
absinthe and we do.
Oh yeah, I think Dora's got her notebook open and she's like got a tally list, and she's like, really, one? And just like the last. Well, okay, I guess this is a combination we haven't tried yet. We could like do our own elevating party. Is that Maybe not just absinthe. Maybe there's some other substances we can try to see if that's what they're using at these parties, and that way we can build an immunity when we infiltrate them.
Wait,
very, very good.
So your plan is to like investigate the Orientalist Enlightenment Party by holding your own.
Well, we're trying to see what possibly could induce this kind of reaction, because it can't be actually spiritualism. So I don't know. I think she just has a running list of like things they've tried, and absinthe has now been crossed off, and there's just a list of substances.
Right.
I do remember that Ransom did leave his diary in the reading room.
Fantastic.
All right. So y'all go over to the reading room, right, in the university. I'm imagining it as a very quaint library space, blocked off, and it's a bit dusty. It's a bit cobwebby. It's a bit like it's one of the empty parts on campus. So yeah, but and by the time you get there, it's the head of the rival club, the Boarders, standing outside and squatting, and sort of like folded his arms, just sort of waiting for the minute hand to go past 0, so he can rush in. And you arrive just as the minute hand touches 0. Who is this fella? Why don't you tell me about them, her, he, whoever? And why they infuriate you?
Are they librarians? Are they croquet players?
They could be croquet players. They could be the posh people. They wear white polos with red stripes and they carry on giant hammers. I don't know.
Does anybody have a pitch?
Why would they call them Boarders? Do they carry 2x4s? No, that's pro wrestling.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say they're like these. They use like spiritualist boards, so these would be like the precursors to Ouija boards, and so
yeah.
Sudomine.
Like I actually like that I did love the idea that like of like big like somebody's mentioned maps when we were talking about the wargaming thing, but I actually love the idea of like he's got like huge, or they have like huge star charts like tucked underneath one arm, and a whole bunch of other stuff so that they can go in and set up.
My pitch for the person who's in front is like a very starchy sort of like Victorian lady, like Celia. I don't know if somebody that Dora knew, who's like, and she's always like very pale, and she's like, oh, but you know, you're just not as in tune with the spirits as I am, you know, like she always has like a little handkerchief, you know, and Dora's like, she puts on a lot of powder so she can look pale. She's actually not that pale anyway.
Yeah, she's quite tan because she went to Siam for like a month and had a spiritual experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she keeps talking about her daddy in the spice trade. Yeah, but her daddy won't tell her what spices he trades. Yeah, all she knows is that it's very popular in India and China, the Indo-China region. Yeah, so that's the sort of person who you meet, and she's dressed all with like a very thick makeup on the face, but you know, as people wear makeup sometimes do, you know, there's like her neck, she doesn't put foundation on her neck, so it just looks as you're met with this very ghostly face standing in the dusty hallway, and she's all like, as the spirits have told me, you are late, which means you are late by, she checks her watch, by 11 seconds. That means we get the usage of the reading room this time. She looks through her a small notebook. Oh, Ransom is in here. Oh, so it's just his 3 lackeys then. Well, all the more reason we should be able to use the reading room.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think that
you want to use a scene cue or something?
I'm looking at my scene cues. I'm trying to see if there's some way that I can out etiquette her, like I can like if I can use perfect manners to somehow out etiquette her, but I think that might be, I think that she pulls a beautifully crafted pocket watch out and flips it open and is like, oh, Celia, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that your watch wasn't, didn't have the latest Swiss workings in it, and like reveals it around to show hers is like, right on time, and like goes and like knocks at her watch and is like, oh, it's such a shame that the knockoffs are getting so much harder to spot these days.
Oh wow! Why don't you
that might be tantrum. That might be tantrum instead. I'm not sure.
Tantrum.
Yeah.
Would this be dignity or scandal? This would be. I would say perfect manners is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do get what you want. So because you've increased your dignity, go ahead and put an X beside the 0 towards dignity, dignified. Okay. I think she goes like, she's just sort of like taken aback for a bit, goes like, but this watch was supposed to be German made, the best technology the 1920s has to offer, which is the era we're in. All right, but if we'll get you next time. We'll get you next time, Normalist. We'll get you Normalist next time. But don't fret. Don't be too hasty. A few people have disappeared in the reading room, which is why we wanted to book it. Which is why we prepared all these Ouija boards. We're about to prepare a ritual, a séance, if you will. But if you Normalists get possessed again, it's none of our business. It's not as if y'all are going missing.
Well, you can snort that spice, you old Bene Gesserit.
Excuse me, it's pronounced Benoit Gasserit. But okay, and you see them just sort of trot off into the darkness.
Dora's wondering, like, okay, I guess they've preloaded the room with some kind of weird stuff now. So keep a watch, Phineas. I know you're great at spotting that stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I go in and I basically like quickly prep the room for our meeting while the other two wait in the hallway, which really is just like I go in and I pull down what looks like a whole bunch of books, and it's just a miniature like bar set behind it. And I mix a drink, and I like take a big I take a big sip of it myself, and I go, yeah, I've got to set up now.
What's the most expensive bottle in your collection?
It's certainly not my collection. In the collection, I think there's
You're
probably,
the help.
There's a bottle of like American rye in there that's just
What?
particularly hard to get right in the city.
Yeah. When you open the hidden bar, you realize that the rye is missing.
What? How will I make the perfect Sazerac if I don't have this rye? It'll just be a subpar one. Give me a moment. I'm still getting things ready. Hold on.
Okay.
And I grabbed the second best bottle of it'll just be like normal bourbon, and I'm like, I guess this will have to do. And then I quickly, like I said, quickly set up the room for everybody else. All right, everything's set. Come on in.
Can I just come in early and go like, you cheeky tough, you're drinking on the job, and then I grab my own like bottle and start like going at it.
It's
Okay, we're done. And I put it back in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Does it not strike you that the rye is missing? Does it strike you as strange, or is there a very normal explanation for it?
No, I mean, I think I'm a little bit perplexed because I'm convinced that only Ransom and I know that this exists, and Ransom is missing, and now the rye is also too. So, I mean, I think I'm wondering if he's maybe showed back up, but he should be here at the meeting if he has. So, I don't think I'm particularly perturbed by it at this point in time.
Yeah, I think
All right.
Dora would trust you to do, like, I think she probably helped. You said what the best booze was to get, and so she either bought it or had somebody get it and bring it here, or if Ransom's also probably some kind of rich person, maybe he did. But yeah, she's just coming in, snooping around, like, any evidence of missing people, of reappeared people, and is like,
yeah, and I'll there was the Ransom's rye was missing, but I mean, maybe we drank through it. Maybe he took it with him. Who knows? But I mean, it could mean he's back.
I mean, the boarders were in here for a couple minutes. Missing people, my foot. Missing. Could they have found our cabinet?
I mean, I don't think so. These are books that I don't think would interest them. And like I flip it up and it's just it's like the equivalent. It's the timeline equivalent of like really trashy romance novels, just like the worst pun laden titles of the day, and so turned into like a fake shelf. And so like all the other shelves are this old, worn, kind of austere look to them, and it does like 100% pop out against everything else, but in a way that would be like no self-respecting like upper class individual would ever want to find themselves get caught reading these things in a public reading room.
As you're looking through like these old like romance novels, like you pick out one and it's like just a thought. It's like, oh, like no self-respecting academic will be caught here, and it's a particularly it's a flesh-colored large tome with the titles like marked in red ink, How to Make People Disappear, a Guide to Other Dimensions. But it doesn't strike you at first.
So is Phineas gesticulating with that?
Yeah, it's just gesticulating there, like, oh no, nobody would be caught with this.
Wait. And I think Dora like dives for it. It's like, we should be studying. Jack, have you read this before?
I look at it. No, but there is like a receipt here, and I pull it out, and it is for American Rye.
Receipt. Well, yeah. Well, I'll clearly. I think like I open it. Like, is there anything in the book like the title or the intro?
It's
I think Sam froze.
not.
Oh, there he goes.
Look, it's handwritten notes. They look. Do you recognize this handwriting?
My okay.
Um,
Hold
Sam,
on,
you kind of blipped for a second there.
it. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on.
Looks like you're back now.
Hold on. Hi. Okay, I'm back. Okay, cool. Sorry, Yijen.
I was saying that there was there's like handwritten notes on inside the book, and I'm asking if anybody's recognized them.
That's a great question. I don't know.
Who wants to? Why don't we make a roll to see what happens?
I mean, like I'm happy to roll. I think like wit is about knowing, anticipating. So I think I can do wit on this.
Yeah. It'll be like a two success.
I'm looking for 5s and 6s, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I got 2.
Nice. You notice it immediately as Ransom's handwriting, although it's a lot more inebriated than usual. So it's a lot scrolling, but yeah.
It does look like Ransom's. I mean, it's a little sloppier than normal, which is saying a lot for him, but it is it certainly looks like he's made some notes in here. What are the notes? What are they kind of reflecting on?
You see stuff like "help me, I am stuck," and then a lot of like squiggly lines which you can't really read. And then it says, "Do not, for whatever reason, put on the mask." And then everything else is scrawled over the pages again in red ink, which doesn't really. It feels a bit sticky to the touch. In fact, as you hold the book in your hand, it feels warm. Like the flesh colored cover it feels a bit warm.
Who's holding the book?
I think I was at that point in time. Taking it back.
You are reading the right. Okay.
Yeah, let's and I take it and I like stick it into the bar area, and I'm like, I think we should just keep this here for right now. Apparently we're not supposed to put on a mask. I don't quite understand the context of that. But Ransom always says everything will make itself plain in the light of day, and so we'll figure it out.
Yeah. As you shove the book if you shove the book back inside the shelf, you realize you don't realize it, but the audience sees like a drop of blood just sort of like leak from the spine, but you don't notice it. All right.
Just another normal thing for the normalists.
Yeah.
Well, so do we want to try to get invitations to that event that they're having? I mean, it's coming up soon. I know that, as I say, as I'm like taking whatever I'd pulled out and mixing drinks for everybody. I mean, until Ransom returns, I don't know, what exactly the plan is, but it seems like that was the next best option was to start, until we get more clues in the disappearing game, figuring out what's happening with these parties that are being thrown.
Yeah, I think Dora's just sort of like flopped in the seat that's like the vice president's seat with her like notepads, and she's like, I guess so. Ransom always has good ideas for things to go investigate, but that does seem like the next thing that we would do. And she's kind of like sorting through notes. Do we know the name of the person who's throwing these, or like would that be a role to figure out like if I know them or something like that?
Why don't we roll? Why don't you roll to see if you know them? I will. But either way, fail or success, you will get the information. It's just that on a fail, it will be quite difficult to do that.
Ooh, okay.
You'll put you in a very bad situation.
Like I might have to go meet them or make introductions versus I already
or with
know
someone
them.
you don't like. Yeah.
Okay. And so how I roll how many dice? Because if it's culture and etiquette, I have 4 check marks in the box.
So roll 4.
Okay.
And for every 5 and 6, that's a success.
Oh, okay. Roll 4,
Yeah.
That is 1 6 and 2 2s and a 1.
Okay, cool. You are needed 2 to succeed.
Okay.
So you do know someone who has been to one of these parties before and has quite a reputation there. Unfortunately, it's actually Carl von Schwarzkopf.
Oh no!
And he did mention inviting you to a party on Friday night.
As help getting in, and I guess the help can get in, but like I don't know how I'm gonna be there. Like I just have grift my way in. But I think like are you gonna go with your dearly beloved?
With Carl, I think she relays that oh, that's the party Carl was talking about. So Phineas, if you drive me, Jack, how are you at impersonating another valet?
Can't just be another like part of the wait staff instead.
Okay, yeah.
I think myself.
Exactly. Or maybe I'll just let him know that like there's another interested bohemian that he should meet. Carl's he's just very into like poetry right now, so he might be really interested in your work. Yeah, either that or if Phineas has another uniform that fits you, totally. We'll put you in the...
Isn't it? Maybe I could go as a ghost.
Yes. Yeah.
God, that's the best.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I will sneak into the building as a ghost, like Phineas can kind of drop me in, and I will figure things out as I go along. Yes.
Or I'll So I'll just let you know like where the location is, and I'll get it from Carl, and then I'll somehow get it to you guys.
What if I mean, you could always say yes under the auspice that I drive you. Like, you could always agree to go to the party, but that you want your driver to come. For propriety.
And I'll just sneak in the boot.
For propriety, yeah. So
boot,
chaperone.
The back.
Because I think she's like, I am such a proper young lady, and I will need my driver to be a chaperone naturally.
So I guess how do you approach Carl about this?
Yeah, let's cut to that scene.
Okay. Is he? I assume is his family in town then? So he's like, I can go visit and.
I would say his family is back home, helping Germany recuperate economically. But he's here in Peccadillo, in one of his very luscious penthouses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am going to be in the... I'm going to see if I can just write him a note, but it's very... And also how has Carl been? Because if this is arranged, do I get the sense that he likes me more than I like him? Or is this very he's very... Okay, so yeah. If she just writes Friday night sounds wonderful. Mummy insists that I bring my driver though. looking forward to it, Dora, and I leave like a big lipstick kiss on the card, and I hand it to
Scandalous.
I hand it to somebody. I hand it to whoever's in the card to get up to him.
What shade of lipstick is it, and how deep?
It's definitely red. Like it's definitely red.
Like, is it like a deep red or a light red?
Definitely scarlet.
Scarlet. Okay. Well, he's gonna react to that.
As a painter, I help like I put in flourishes in there and like X's and O's and like lots of
Yeah.
bouquets
Okay.
and,
Yeah. According to the principles of phrenology back in the day. Yeah. All right. And he's how would he get you a response? How would he respond to you? Okay, sure.
Either that, or
Let's say
he could either write me back, or I'm at home and he turns up. I don't know, or is there like does he throw pebbles at my window? Like I'm not sure. Like at night.
Yeah, I feel like
to
this is
ride up with a carriage.
I feel like you engaged in a semi-formal way. Like I feel like letter writing probably makes the most sense.
He sends you a parcel later, like a few days later. As like a large cardboard box wrapped in very nice crinkly paper. It's very nice to touch, and it says, and lace as well. And there's a letter that goes like, "Looking forward to see you there, my dear Pandora." But and he leaves you with this box.
Is there any instructions about the box? Like don't open until then.
It says, do what your heart desires. What do you do with that?
I think she sets the box aside. Like I will wait to open that, and then keeps coming back to like poke it a little bit and like shake it a little bit, and eventually, I think she definitely opens it.
Okay, all right. When you before you open it, on the day itself, right, of the party, does Jack or Phineas want to prepare anything for the party? Like Jack, what is your ghost costume? What does it look like?
We see like a split of like me ghosting Jack up alongside you just continually looking at this package. Yeah, Jack, what do you do?
Let's see. What kind of European like it's gonna be dark, right? So I try to wrap myself in black cloth, like maybe like a ninja with a top hat.
Okay.
No. How about a bowler hat instead?
Yeah, sure.
A black golf cap. I can still see my what do you call that? My elbow pads are still brown. Okay, maybe not. Gotta wrap that up too.
The ghost of colonialism as a bowler hat.
All right. Okay. We'll have to get you to roll to see how effective your costume is.
Okay.
Yeah. Phineas, do you want to prepare, or do you just want to cut straight to the event itself?
Yeah, I think we see, like I said, Phineas kind of like in the background, like helping Jack prepare, like ribbing Dora about not opening the package yet. Like he kind of like pops back and forth between the scenes. Yeah, no, I think we see like the morning of it's me spraying down the car, making sure it's all ready, making sure it's in good shape. And then I go back to the boot, and I like try to push things around to make enough space for Jack to be in there as we're driving also too. It just kind of, like you see me just kind of prepping the car during this time, while then like appearing in other people's scenes and giving them a hard time.
Yeah, is there something that I think Dora would also just be like, is there a signal? Is there some kind of like, what if they do make us take substances of some kind? Like, is there some kind of like
No, I've never had
antidote?
objection to that.
Okay, but I'll be there with Carl. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, is there some kind of antitoxin I need? She's just kind of like flailing around and like I like to play act at knowing a
If
lot of
that's-
stuff, but
if that's a question you bring up earlier in the week, I think we could easily do a scene where like, so I'm gonna like, now that we know we I mean, you know, we have a general idea of the location, I'm gonna ask around amongst like other valets and serving staff what anybody has heard about these parties, and see if we can get an idea of what specifically happens at them from a like what is it like when people get back in the car? Do they seem intoxicated? Do they seem, you know, like, obviously none of us are in the parties, but what is our unseen right outside the party like impact from this? So I just want to kind of maybe in addition to that, we see me asking around town some other valets. Every single time we do it, it's in the middle of a card game played over the hood of something, or like craps in a back alley, or it's like, you know, at a obviously like working kitchen table while somebody's preparing food. Like, I'm having these conversations to see if I can find out like if anything is being ingested, you know, and if so, what the impact is.
Okay,
Actually,
sure.
this is probably etiquette because I think I'm working
Yeah. It's gonna be easy. So just one success.
Well, I got 2, so.
All right, nice. You realize that the next location will be held at the haunted house, which other people have been disappearing at.
Ooh.
Ooh. And it's not they while they do start out their parties very intoxicated and very happy, everyone seems strangely solemn afterwards, and usually sometimes every now and then one or two party goers will not exit the building. So, and they just go like, oh, it's probably like they decided to sleep over at that place and send the valets home earlier, you know.
Yeah.
It's probably like, you know, nothing weird going on.
Okay. Yeah, I think I relate. Oh, yeah, no, it seems, you know, no one comes out with weird behavior. You know, I talked to somebody. I even talked to one of the chefs who worked at one of the parties, and they said there's nothing weird in any of the food that was served. You know, lots of drinking, you know, other things like that, but nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you have to worry about any minority substances. However, I guess one thing we should talk about: if they try to send me home, do you want me to wait anyways?
Yeah,
you gotta be around the
absolutely.
corner. Yes,
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, she kind of like grabs your sleeve and is like, please don't go anywhere.
I assumed as much. I just wanted to make sure.
All right. So the valet is not going to follow you inside, yeah? Since the valet is not allowed inside.
No.
he's got to find a way for me to get in as the ghost.
Yeah, I think you know, I think we can watch me pull up and Carl and Dora get out, and we see the eye contact. We zoom back to Jack in the boot of the car, and then like I mean, there's obviously the parking spot, and then all the valets will just hang out, not probably in the back, and so I wait until it's gotten like dark enough to go like pop open the boot and let Jack out so he can sneak in, but that'll be a little ways into the party.
Yeah.
Are we playing that scene already, or like?
Yeah, let's jump straight to that scene.
But can I kind of backtrack a little bit? Can I propose that when Dora opens up the box, there is a severed finger in it?
Sure. There is a severed finger inside the box.
Is that the only thing in the box? Okay.
A golden Balinese mask attached with a label, "Wear this. Would you like to investigate the severed finger?"
Oh, yes.
Toe.
Okay. I will just I'm just gonna throw this out. The fingerprint matches your right index finger exactly.
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, I would have put it as like ransoms, but okay.
Okay. No, this is
Okay.
really
That's creepier still.
yeah. That is
Um,
yeah, after
Yeah.
maybe maybe I have like a mole on my index finger that it matches too, and like but I have all my fingers, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know that it matters, but Ransom said don't wear the mask, and I don't know if he was, I haven't been a lot of masks around this week, but it makes me a little concerned about you potentially needing to wear that one.
I think she's like, I'll see if I can get by without it. But she kind of nods. Like, I think she just has this attitude of like, oh, that's a charming rule, and also like, people don't get to tell me what to do a lot of times, so I think she's gonna see if she can like wiggle out of wearing it.
Okay.
All right.
So we have to show up, obviously I'm being driven in my car, but we're gonna meet Carl. I'm gonna meet Carl at the front. Okay.
Yeah. So the location is this very abandoned estate on the outskirts of town, built on pre-medieval era farmland. And as you go up, you can see a valet is just outside the parking lot, and everybody is holding a mask, an identical mask in their hand.
In their hands, so they haven't put it on yet. Okay.
They haven't put it on yet. And Carl just struts up right next to you. He sees you from across the crowd and goes, "Oh," he says in a very thick accent, which I shall not do. He says, "Oh, Pandora, so glad if you've been able to make it." And he reaches out your hand and kisses you on your right index finger, the same one.
Oh, yeah. Always so specific, Carl.
Come get your mask ready. We shall need it for the ceremony.
Do you have one as well?
Of course I do. And he brings out this very ornate marble-looking mask, which is, again, it looks Balinese in origin, but it's way more elaborate.
Oh, it is beautiful. Yeah. It is a gorgeous mask, naturally.
Not as beautiful as you.
Oh, you're too kind. As you know, I don't say that enough, really, that you are too kind. And I wonder if I can use Sweet Talker as my scene cue to charm him into either delaying the mask putting on or avoiding it. But I'm so afraid I won't be able to see, your face and just everything that's happening through the eye holes.
Well, don't worry. It's not about the face. It's not about looking at me. Tonight you'll be seeing the true shape of my soul.
Wow. So
and feeling it.
Such a thrilling prospect. Really.
Sorry, Jack, you wanted?
Yeah. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah. Can I just ask a gaming question? Are we doing the whole Blades in the Dark's flashback thing?
You can.
Okay. All right, then I would say, just put on the mask.
Oh,
just put on the mask.
Just put on the mask. Okay. All right. Right.
I'm gonna excuse myself for a second.
Okay.
All right.
So,
cool.
yeah, because I was gonna say maybe we have made a substitute or something. But so do we put it on now?
I got an idea. Double masking, 2 masks. You put a mask under the mask.
Exactly.
Up to you.
What a concept.
Double masking, I hear, is a highly effective technique.
Against ingesting bad things. So I think that then she puts it on.
All right. You put it on, nothing feels weird.
Or we wait, or he hasn't put his on yet, or everybody's carrying it in.
He wants you to see you put it on first before he puts his
wants
on.
to- Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think that I put it on then.
Your vision is almost obscured, especially because it's night. But he leads you by the hand into the estate, the mansion. Ooh.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, Phineas saw this happen, right? Like, I assume since it was outside this estate, at least you saw the whole mask situation.
Yeah, and So, and I'm still gonna pull over, but I think I'm gonna use my unseen and unnoticed scene cue. To like just like I park, I pop the trunk so that Jack can get out whenever he needs to, and I walk in the back door and just like through the kitchen and out into the party area from the other side.
Yep. While you are unseen and unnoticed, the other valets see you going in that direction and go like, "What are you doing? Don't go in there. We don't know what sort of weird satanic stuff they get into."
Oh, I'm like it's not a problem. I was asked to.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I can always
Okay.
I can always stay and play cards with y'all again.
Oh, it is your okay. I'm just saying every valet who has gone inside has never come out the same.
Oh, I'm sure that's just a rumor. I disappear into the door.
Would you like to validate?
So.
All right. Okay, cool. When you go into the back door, you see like buckets and buckets of red liquid. This sort of like arranged in very like grid-like patterns in one of the back rooms. Yeah.
I will smell the red liquid.
Oh, it's wine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Roll perception check. Oh, it's wine.
It's wine.
I incredibly unwisely take a little sip of that wine.
It's very good wine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I they're just big buckets. Are there cups around?
Yeah. There's no cups.
Okay. Well
It's
then,
buckets.
I tried a little bit of bucket wine. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll kind of keep on making my way through.
All right. Jack, would you like to do something?
Wait, where am I at the moment?
In the unlocked
still in the trunk.
Can I just rewind and have like what do you call that? Phineas sneak me in like a giant carpet bag or something like that. You're supposed to bring in.
Yeah, I think maybe if we want to retcon a plan, I was thinking like me going inside and like opening a window so you can slide in.
Right. Okay.
Is probably the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I had popped the trunk before I left.
Right.
And so you're able to slide out, and I'll find my way to a window on that side of the building and pop it open.
Right. Okay. Then the scene's yours. Unless
All right.
Sam, we want to put any more obstacles in my way.
Let's go with you. Let's go with Jack.
Oh, okay. So
And we'll
I
switch
creep
perspectives.
the boot a little bit open and just see if there's anybody around. If there's no one, I'll just sneak out stealthily. What time is it? Is it
It's
dark?
like 3 a.m. in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a pretty late
Yeah.
party. I like even by those standards those days, we're still like almost transitioning between gaslight and electricity. But okay. And I examine the building.
You see a window open from Phineas.
Okay. Are there any more physical barriers or people around to the window?
Not that you notice.
Not that I noticed.
You can go in.
I still carefully sneak, sneak, and if there's a fence around the house, I would. Any dogs? Any animals?
Nope, no dogs, no
Nope.
animals.
Nope. And the
What
window is it on the first floor?
It sounds as if you're trying to make a wit and sharp roll, so why don't you go ahead and do that?
Oh, what? Oh,
A wit and sharp.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I
only
have
have
two dice here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. So it's gonna be like 2.
5-1.
Oh wow, okay. It's a fail. You're trying to look around the fence and suddenly you feel like the edge of a blade just sort of like go around your sort of like touch your neck. And a mysterious voice behind you says, "Do not turn around."
Why
The
would I
voice
turn
is
around?
deep. There's a specter
You've-
behind this.
Let's see. Can I? Oh, what's your deal in this, buddy? We're just two ghosts of a kind.
There might be a do you have a scene cue that could work? Maybe kindred spirits, literally.
Talking good spirits.
Well, depends on what No, let's see what Sam has to say.
No. You can do whatever you want.
No, I think
See what happens.
he needs to be an artist or performer first, and we don't know that.
Yeah.
Sam, what's his response?
What do you say?
Parlay.
What do you say to him?
Parlay.
Whatever you do. What was your business say? You should not be here. He says, he sort of like pushes you towards the house and says, go inside, it's safer there.
What? Say again?
Go inside, it's safer there. Safer inside the house than outside.
What? And I'm going what do you think I'm doing? I am trying to get in.
Okay, then go in. Do not turn around. Whatever you do, do not turn around.
Then oh, thank you very much. Dust, and climb in.
When you turn around, you see like this shimmering, like in the dark of night, you see like almost the silhouette of like a person, and you realize that the voice sounded a bit familiar. It was Ransom's voice. Well, it suspiciously sounded like Ransom's voice, but there's a normal explanation for that. And you turn around and the silhouette just sort of like recedes into the darkness.
Must be the wind.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. I think we cut back to Pandora, who is led into this very ornate, very almost immaculately clean bathing pool, which covers like the main hall of the mansion. There's like gold trimmings everywhere.
I would have brought my bathing costume if I thought this was on the menu, Carl.
Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, don't worry about it. We let's all step into it and you'll let me take it from here.
And there's no a change of costume of any kind. I mean,
nope.
You don't.
Nope. It's okay. Don't fret, my dear.
Don't fret. Oh, and
he leans in to smell your hair.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think what kind of role. Yeah, I think she just laughs and is like, I never fret. While internally freaking out. Is there a way that I can figure out something about the environment or about the pool? Like,
which stat do you want to roll for?
I'm trying to think if that would be wit and sharp, or
I think if you like anticipating or knowing things seems to fall mostly wit and sharp domain, but it could be like if you have a creative way of knowing, it could be creativity.
True.
Like bravado, and it would be like if you were just gonna like straight up ask. And then etiquette might be a way you could do it depending on how you handled that situationally. But I think wit and sharp makes the most sense if you just want to get an idea about things.
Yeah, I think I will do that. So that's rolling 2. Where's my roll?
Or you can do culture and etiquette to identify cultural,
Right.
or like, you know.
Right. I think that figuring out kind of what this is culturally, because I know that the mask is Balinese, but and you said there were goat trimmings like hair on the floor? Like, oh, okay. So, and are other people stepping in? Do I see other people stepping into the pool?
Oh yeah, you can hear people just sort of like going in.
Okay.
That's
So
around
there's
like 80 other people.
80?
Yeah.
Wow. So I will. So to kind of, I guess, figure out what this is, if I have any other match for this in my mind, if that's culture and etiquette, then I rolled 2 6s and 2 4s.
Wow.
Well, that's a fail either way. Let's just say that this gets very bad for you, and before you can sort of understand what's going on, you feel the back of your head being grabbed, and you are shoved face down to the water.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I like how we've taken the comedic 1920s role-playing game into the darkest of places. And so,
yeah,
following
that's
the
great.
fire. Yeah, we cut to the valley.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can. I think we see me letting Jack in. I'm like, what took you so long?
Had a bit of a case of had to break some wind.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Thanks for doing that outside. I want to use. I'm going to use this way, sir. Your years of employment and everything from grand manors to hotels means you can accurately intuit the layout of a building, including the rooms that many would rather keep a secret. The primary thing I want to access, though I would love to know about other secret rooms in the future with this, is the servant passageways that used to exist in a lot of these houses. Like, what are the unseen ways that servants navigate this building is really what I'm looking to access so that we can get to the room the party is in without having to deal with other shenaniganery.
Okay. Yeah, sure, you can. Yeah, so I'll let you describe like how you access one of the secret servant tunnels.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Jack is, and even in the room we're in is kind of like a hallway that appears to go nowhere, and I like lean over and shove a bureau to the side, and we and it's a very, very narrow, one person wide kind of tilted passageway that would be easy to carry something down, but is you still have to kind of tilt to navigate. And so all right, this way, and we'll head towards the main room, maybe in time to see this scene, maybe shortly afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
you
is there like a second?
Yeah, you can
Go ahead.
Like a second floor,
is there like a second
down.
floor railing that we can come out on the up and kind of see what's happening down below us?
Yeah.
Well,
you sort of go through this labyrinth of very dusty, very dark, cobwebbed hallways, and you reach this point where there's a railing that overlooks into the pool, and that's around the part where everything starts to get immaculately clean, almost it's been thoroughly cleaned, and well taken care of, and you see Pandora have a head just sort of drop, pushed down to the water. Yeah, and she's the only one they're doing it to.
She's the only one they're doing it to.
Yeah.
Is there? Go ahead.
No. I am about to throw a tantrum if I can possibly the next time around. So that's just like the only thing I have on deck. But feel free to do whatever you want. Like totally.
Yeah. I mean, I think really looking around really quickly. Like I want. Is there a chandelier in this room? Like, what is above the pool?
Oh yeah, sure. There's a chandelier. Yeah.
I want to unhook the chandelier, let it kind of plummet down.
Errol Flynn it. Okay.
Okay.
I have a scene cue I can use for that. I'm also happy to just roll for it and see how things turn out.
Scene cue is good.
So the devil in details, you've mastered the art of subtle sabotage, tweak and modify things in a way to cause some more embarrassment or misfortune down the line without drawing attention to yourself. So yeah, I want to I step out, like seeing this happen, I step out quickly from the kind of hidden area and then just like slide over and like untie the rope that holds this chandelier aloft, letting it like plummet to the ground. Probably not into the pool, but like next to the pool or behind it, so that like it draws everyone's attention back and hopefully stops them from trying to drown my boss / best friend.
Yeah, sure, that happens. You can see Carl, who is now wearing that distinctive white mask, as if he's some sort of like high priest of this ritual. He just sort of lets go of Pandora and just looks, and everybody just looks in shock. Is there any other thing you want to have happen after that?
I don't know if I'm gonna make my appearance as a ghost, as a distraction.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ooh, I'm a ghost.
Sure.
I'm a
Yeah,
ghost. Why have you summoned me?
Do you just say
That
you're a
would
ghost?
be,
Like do identify yourself as the tortured souls that they have been?
No, I like I'm a ghost. Way better. That's way better. It's way better written dialogue for Jack.
Yes, that's my friend.
What do you roll for bravado and persuasion? That'll be you. I only need to give you like one success for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope I don't budget. I budget 244.
For some reason, everybody looks very disappointed as you do your thing. What do you say? You say, "Oh, I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost."
Like, wait. I already said that, right?
Yeah.
So
Is there anything
this
else
my
you say?
next line, right?
Yeah.
Like, why haven't you done this before?
You see Arnold. This sorry, why did I call him Arnold? Carl. You see, you see Carl this paper his mind goes like, "What are you doing here? This is an elites only party."
Well, didn't you summon me?
No, what summon? What? No, this is a drinking party. He points to the he shows you to the pool and says, This is a drinking party. This is vodka."
Well, drink up,
What ghost?
hearties.
Who are you?
Ooh.
But at the moment, after you do the who, everybody looks scared for some reason. Like hideously scared for some reason. Valet, Phineas, you feel something breathing at the back of your neck.
Phineas is brash, but he certainly isn't brave. So, like, I'll whip around and try to see what it is.
You whip around and you see this very almost like indescribable, unperceivable ghost-like entity, almost translucent. So sort of like no clipping out of the wall, and it's like like 12 fingers on each arm, and all of them are clawed, and it just looks like a very mangled, or like the mangled appropriation of a human face, just sort of like leeching out the wall and with its teeth bared.
I just looking at it and say, that's not very sporty and sneaking up on me like that.
What do you do?
I basically like I address its poor behavior as a ghost. I 100% start like dressing it down for like that's not how people should be behaving in polite company, and letting it know that I'm very disappointed in it.
All the party goers start running away, screaming.
Oh, no,
Are you good with
injury?
injury? Are you good with injury this session?
I'm fine with injury. I would love to roll culture and etiquette to see if I can embarrass the ghost into not attacking me.
Yeah, sure. It'll be challenging because it's a 3.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Nope.
The entity, you're not sure what it is. The entity moves towards your face, roars at you. It spits a very ectoplasmic substance on your face, and you get stuck in your hair. What is the at first impression? What is the logical explanation for this happening in the back of your mind? What do you rationalize it as?
I mean, like, we've obviously got a pretend ghost. This is somebody else's pretend ghost that they've just done a better job of preparing. Like, we shouldn't have left Jack in charge of being the ghost. Obviously, that wasn't going to work out. Whoever this actor is, we 100% should have hired them to be our ghost instead.
Yeah.
Ectoplasm is like petroleum jelly or something.
Yeah,
this is your thinking there, right?
I mean, like, if something landed on me, it can't even be fake. I just felt spit on me. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. But at that moment, it sort of reaches out at you and bites off your hand completely.
I didn't know what level of injury you were talking about. I thought I was going to get roughed up here.
It pushes you straight into the pool of vodka.
Well, at least I don't have to worry about sanitary efforts.
And now the vodka's wine.
So, yeah, I think I get a big mouthful of vodka as I come crashing down. Everybody's running away, right?
Yep.
I guess I've got to pull him out.
Is Carl still there holding me down, or like
he's not holding on? He stopped holding you down, and he's now running away like a scaredy cat.
He's running. Okay.
Yeah.
So, would you say I'm scuffed or that I have injury now?
Well, it's about the flesh wound.
Let's say scuffed, because you still have your dignity.
I still have, and that's all that matters. So.
Yeah. Jack, Dora, what do you two do?
I'm pulling like I'm wading into the pool. I'm gonna try to like pull like Phineas out.
Yeah, you can do that. No problem.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, I think is this ghost still chasing Phineas then, or
it follows you very slowly. Like it sort of like gathers together, and it stands around like 8 feet tall and congeals together into this sort of like sort of a humanoid form.
Oh, okay.
Which has like long teeth, and a gaping mouth, which recedes into its chest.
Their makeup is so good.
I know.
you say that through the phone.
Yeah,
I am not sure whether I am drunk or not.
You're drunk on attention. I think Pander, after being shoved, I think she comes up just sputtering vodka, and Carl lets up, is like a little tipsy from this now. I think does not realize that, as she's like standing, it's all absorbing into her skin. But she comes up sputtering and is like, excuse you, Schwarzkopf, more like Doomkopf. We really, which is like dummy in German. It's like, I can't, in my family, overlooked your shady connections, maltreating me like this. And then I think as Carl's retreating, she's turning around and is like, this looks terrifying, but also she's just in such a state right now that it's not registering. So I think she's like, and if you coming in here frightening, if you have been you're the one taking our friend, and you should give it back right now. And I am done with this pretentious flibberty gibbet horrible. This is a hobby, it doesn't help anybody. And she's just going on, and she like walks up and is like pointing very specifically at the ghost, and I think that's a throw a tantrum.
What are you trying to achieve here?
I think I'm either trying to achieve it to stop, or like it was gonna be my like offensive move against Carl, who is now like left. So I guess like if this has something to do with the disappearances, like some kind of revelation or some kind of
Can you read the move out loud?
It says, as an aristocrat, you are no stranger to causing a scene to get your way, whine, caterwaul, and cause a ruckus. You'll cause a disturbance and divert everyone's attention to you. So it may just be like it focuses on me so you guys can get away. But like, I think it's just some kind of like stop its advance, maybe.
You poke at it, like everybody's like Carl just sort of stops by the entrance and sort of stares. You poke at it and it feels strangely solid.
Okay.
I think I've like won. I think I'm like dragging you away from this thing as you're like poking at it. We see me like come out of the pool, and I've like got you over his shoulder. And because I know what happened when I did the exact same thing a couple of seconds ago. I'm gonna like motion for Jack to run also too, and I just want to kick over one of the candles that is on the ground into this, like into the vodka that's now spilled all over the ground that then feeds into the pool, and try to start a fire as I'm dragging her out the door.
Wait, but like when you said solid, did you mean like it felt like a human, or like it felt like the ghost, like the ectoplasm was solid?
It felt fleshy.
Yeah, I think as Finney says, you have me over your shoulder. I'm like, wait, but it felt like people.
I know. It's obviously people, but it also did this to my hand, and I hold it up, and like my hand's all like mangled and chewed up. But like kicking over the thing, trying to start a fire.
Oh boy.
I'm going to make a wit and sharp roll.
This feels like a bravado roll.
I don't think it's a bravado roll.
It's not really witty to like.
How about it's very sharp.
It's creative.
How about creativity and passion?
Yeah, sure. It's like 1.
I got 1.
Okay, cool. The whole like the moment you throw the candle into the vodka, everything just sort of like gushes out in flame, and you see like a couple of like several feet like away from you, you see this woman soaked in a vodka soaked dress, just sort of screaming as she tries to run away, not only from the ghost but also from the fire, and she pulls off a mask, and it's Celia from earlier from the reading room. Oh, she screams, help me, normally paranormal society, please help me.
Ooh, let's see. I'm up. Is Jack available, I guess, for helping? Although he doesn't.
Do you want to?
Well, wait. So is there a conflagration going on in the pool?
Conflagration. Wait, what's
Like
a conflagration?
the pool.
Is it burning?
Yeah, it's an inferno basically, and her dress is catching fire.
If we help her, maybe they'll let us use the reading room.
that should not be your main reason.
Oh, it's big time.
yeah, I try to pick her up and carry her along with like Phineas and Pandora. Yeah, and I say that. Yeah. Maybe we'll get to use the reading room now.
Just so you can use the reading room all you want.
Oh,
Right. So you're gonna try and do that.
Okay, but I don't have a lot of.
That feels like a bravado.
I have 3 bravado. Okay.
All right.
You're the
All right.
bravadoist.
So you're gonna lead everyone to safety, yeah.
Yeah, the goal is like get everybody out of here, burn
Well,
down this
just
horrible
that.
actor.
For
So
me, it's
this-
just that one lady.
Yeah.
I have 1-6-3-3.
1633. Okay, Ken. As everything is raining down on you, describe how you lead everyone to safety. Like what is your how does it look? Do you look very cool or is it frantic?
No,
And,
I've got like I'm carrying like what's her name? The ghost lady?
Celia.
Celia, like on one shoulder, and I'm goose stepping. But all right then. No need to panic. Just follow the ghost. Ghost leading the way. Don't. And like everybody just like follows me, kind of like in step. And when they reach the door, they just like burst out.
All right,
And I'm
nice. You burst out into a main hallway and everything inside just quickly catch on fire. For a moment, it seems like everything is all is doomed, right? But then you see like a sort of like almost like another ghostly figure, roughly ransom shape, just sort of like beckon to you to like a secret door hidden behind a shelf, and he pulls it open.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
And it says in a very ransom way, and to you as well. You walk through.
Much obliged.
Yeah. We can probably end the session soon. So yeah, you guys get out of the building. Everything is the whole thing collapses, and the ransom ass figure is nowhere to be found.
Was that was the ghost? That ghost was different from the one that bit Phineas's hand off, right? Or was it the same thing?
What's your rational explanation?
I was like, did it look the same as? Did that ghost look the same as the one that you interacted with? The one that was like whispering in your ear? I guess you didn't see it. You didn't see it because you didn't turn around.
I mean, obviously Ransom is back and just, wants to operate from the shadows. Like that's my logical. That's Phineas's logical explanation. Like Ransom is back. It just doesn't want to let us know yet.
Well, I'm just going with the flow.
You're the rationalist who's like, maybe things don't need a rational explanation always.
Rationalism / whatever, man. Awesome.
Just do the right thing. That's the rational choice.
Oh yeah. So is that the moral of the story?
I think Pandora thinks it's kind of fascinating, but is very glad to have such a concrete reason that she can turn Carl down, and probably has to let her mom know in euphemisms like he proved himself to be very unsuitable mother. Like he's into very strange drops words like transcendentalism and like all these other things.
I do love that in the ongoing saga of us, as the players would just always know that every single episode, whatever current suitor is pursuing Dora is absolutely going to be the villain at the end, without the characters ever realizing that was the ongoing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that she can vibe with if Phineas is like, yeah, Ransom is just helping from behind the scenes now. I think she's like, yeah, because like she's the only one who didn't hear like his voice, but just hearing you guys talk about it would be like, That sounds like Ransom. You know, he gets bored every once in a while and has to do something else, so it's just a new and exciting thing. Um, while the audience knows that like this Ransom ghost is like becoming increasingly like weird and terrifying and has some unfinished business with us that it won't let go, clearly.
What is also your conclusion about the ghost in the ghost that cut off the valet's head?
I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was the same. Yeah, like it just weirded her out that it felt solid. So she's always a little worried that like maybe they accidentally killed somebody because they set it on fire. So she's like, but that person in the ghost costume, did they ever get out? Like fires, we should, I mean, I guess we had no choice, but like that should be our last resort next time. So
To be fair, I did try to talk to it very sternly first. Before we finish, I want to use Soothing Touch as my last scene cue. Hangover cures stubborn colds, little cuts, bumps, and bruises. You have a remedy for all soothing, in a soothing nature to go along with it. You can heal anyone who's scuffed.
Yes, yeah, sure. I'll allow it.
I buy the I have an old Valets remedy for driver's hand.
Yeah.
You know, which is when your hand gets really chafed from just, you know, like letting the wheel run underneath it. And I use that on my hand for like a week, and it regrows.
Yeah. Somehow.
Well, I was carrying like what's her name? What's her name
Celia.
again?
Dora?
Celia. Like something drops off, I pick it up and like I toss it back to like Phineas and like, I think this might belong to you.
You think she has the hand?
My hand.
Or maybe you have like a great prosthetic, like you're able to build a super awesome prosthetic.
I've got a robot hand now. No, this has been great. So we are going to take a short 5-minute break, and then we are going to come back and do our reaction roll. In that time, we're going to have I think Floor, but I'm not sure, from Wanderer's Tome, who's one of the creators of the game, hop on with us. But I'm going to put us on a break while we switch over to a different layout for that, and it also let us take a little break if we need to get up and stretch and move around also too. So everybody out there is watching, if you want to hear a little bit more about what went into making Flabbergasted and what the plans are and how it's probably way more comedic and less gruesome than we typically played it tonight, stick around. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just one moment. All right, and we are live here again on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicinda, and we've got somebody new who has joined us. I'll let you meet them in just 1 second. But this is Reaction Roll. Reaction Roll is a live stream within a live stream. It's where we sit down with the designer of a game that we just played and talk to them about our experience playing it, ask them questions, and get a chance to just talk with them about the game that they made. Today, we are talking about Flabbergasted, which is a game that's coming to Kickstarter, I believe, next month, and that we are
It's September 28th.
September 28th. There we go. It's in just a couple of weeks, and I know that you can sign up for it right now. We'll drop the link to that in just 1 second in the chat. We'll also drop a link to their email list in the chat as well, or you can go to the link right below Sam's face to check that out. But let's meet Fleur. Fleur, tell people who you are, what you do, but also tell us about Flabbergasted.
As you said, I'm Fleur. I am like one half of a sister duo that we're trying to debut our first tabletop role-playing game, and hopefully we can keep making more role-playing games in this space. I mostly handle things like the graphic design of our productions and art design and like managing Kickstarter pages. We pretty much share all like duties between me and my sister Chelsea. Flabbergasted is our like debut game. We wanted to make a game that is very lighthearted and comedic. That is doesn't rely too much on things like very heavy rule set and dice rolling, and instead focus a lot more on narrative storytelling, which is I really liked the idea of scene queue. So it gives you ideas of like how you can move a scene, and give you like prompts. The thing that we were trying to capture with our game is just the more role-playing and social aspect of games. Like when I was doing my high fantasy role-playing games, that was one of my favorite parts were scenes where it's like, we have to infiltrate a ball and we need to like have disguises and we need to make distractions and we need to like find our way through. And there was always just like so much fun. Like I just love getting into the details of what outfits are we wearing, who are we interacting with, and just seeing how things like go disastrously wrong, but still kind of fun along the way. And that's also one of the other things that was important to us in Flabbergasted, which is that we didn't want like failure to be like a prevalent feeling. We have a concept that we came up with in the game called failing forward, so that no matter what the outcome is, you're going to keep progressing your story and just kind of like make a more memorable situation out of it.
Yeah, love it. I had a blast playing the first ever version of Flabbergasted Dark that I think you captured a lot of those great feels. I've got some thoughts about it, but I want to hear from our other players first. Let's start with Jen. Jen, this is your first time ever played on stream with us. Tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play Flabbergasted.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. So I work in a university. You can catch me on Twitter, I guess, at Jansenator. Yeah, but like I do design a couple of board games. I'm aspiring designer. I haven't published much yet. But I do play role-playing games, and I often prod Sam to do all sorts of stupid things with me as well. It's a what do you call it? It's a real interesting way they got me on here. Because it's my birthday and I was trying to stream, and do you want to jump on my stream? So I guess I'm here now.
and Adira is okay. She just messaged me halfway through and she slept through her alarm, and she is very sorry to everybody. I think she was also bummed because she was looking forward to playing a lot too. So maybe we'll get a chance to do a round two with Adira at some point in the future. But tell us about what your experience was like playing the game.
I feel like this is a bit of a tough question. It does feel a bit like Blades in the Dark, but very much geared for a social system. And I was wondering, like, I think there was one point where I did ask, like, Sam if they were doing, if he was doing the, the flashback thing that happens in Blades in the Dark. So I don't think I've read very deeply into the rules, but I wanted that option, so that I don't feel so, is that so afraid of like going really crazy in the game. And for some reason I've not had the chance to use a lot of my scene cues because there's maybe it's because like the way that our game went didn't really benefited the way my scene cues were going. But I'm sure like all of you like had like a somehow finessed it in.
Well, I know, like the Bohemian has a scene queue called Arts and Crafts, where you can put together a costume like out of nothing, out of just like. So like that's
I was ready to use it, but like apparently we didn't have to. So okay, that's fine.
Technically, you kind of did.
You really okay?
Because you created the ghost costume.
Okay, yeah.
We retconned that you use the scene queue.
Yeah. No, I love it, and it's a good question because it was something we immediately noticed. Like it's obviously very tonally different. It's not the same game as Blades in the Dark, but there are a lot of overlap. So I think my question would be for you, Floor. What were some of the systems that influenced the game and some of the mechanics that y'all chose to implement?
So for system-wise, like I said, I wanted to keep it quite simple. Mostly, my first jumping point was just Tales from the Loop, which is like just very simple system to just and then to facilitate the setting that they want, the mood they want to capture, and that's kind of like what we built it off of. And then I started creating this club system. So we have like a much more expanded rule set for like how to improve on your club and where you can take it, and even like a section where you can draw out your map of your club. And then like my partner, who was quite a big fan of Blades in the Dark, he's like, you should check out the den system in Blades in the Dark. And I did. So I had never played Blades in the Dark, but even just like the comparison from archetypes with playbooks and the scene cues, I guess, are like social versions of the moves, right? I think moves are in Blades in the Dark. I mean, it's sort of like accidentally inspired by Blades in the Dark because I didn't really play it before, but I did reference it for the dens for the clubhouse for sure.
Yeah, like I said, go ahead.
No, nothing. That's it.
Yeah, no, like I said, there are like some very clear feelings, but I also love it when like systems are like kind of like, oh, I'm already doing this thing, and then you're like, oh, here's another system that does it. How do they do it? And be able to kind of look at that and say, what doesn't this do that I want it to do? I'll talk a little bit more about how I thought the club piece worked, because I think they do something very distinctly different than Blades. But yeah, I love being able to hear when those kind of things evolve. Danielle, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, and what it was like to play Flabbergasted.
Hey, I'm Danielle Bilta. I do everything from write things to decorate cakes to teach eventually. So if I'm just more of an RPG enthusiast, and you can find me on Twitter at Built-A-House. But yeah, I really enjoyed this system. I enjoyed this game. I love that that the scene cues, even though the subject matter, we got like, secret societies and paranormal, that like I could do something like throw a tantrum and like this has to have an effect because, this is my scene cue. So I love that, the mechanics really do promote that kind of having a light touch about it or putting a comedic spin on it. I kind of had a question as I was reading through. I really loved, everything's beautiful, by the way. Like this is really beautiful. You said you did graphic design. I was just so inspired by the art and just the way it's all laid out. I thought was clear, but also very evocative. But as I was reading, like the idea of more than a one shot, like the language, the narrative language that you use for like running a show and phrasing things in episodes and, calling the GM the director. And like, I like the idea of scene cue. I think it's really, really promotes that kind of attitude toward playing it. It puts you in the right headspace. I've only ever played one other game, Primetime Adventure, where it's like writers who are doing episodes of a TV show. And I really liked that structure, and I don't run into it. I haven't run into it a lot. So I was kind of curious about like how this fits into like running like a longer campaign, or like should people be setting this up like a mini series, or like is that where it runs best? Like how did you kind of see that structure playing out?
So the way that like we want it to be for some long form play, like not necessarily like epic 3-year campaigns, something that you can like realistically finish maybe in like I don't know, 6 months or something, but you can keep going as well if you want, like with a season 2 or a season 3. So yeah, the seasons are built, so your campaign is built based on building blocks found in the character sheets and in the club sheets. So the idea was like everyone has their own personal dilemma. The social club has its big troubles and it threatens to dismantle it before it can even like begin. And then there's also public challenges and that issue from a rival club. So the idea was that like every episode tackles one of these, or maybe like a combination of something. Like this episode is going to focus on your character's personal trouble. Maybe you had to do like an elaborate scene of like how to get away from your German fiance, and maybe along the way, like maybe you toss in like a public challenge, or maybe you can do some of the club activities on the side, or progress someone's a little bit in the background, and like that you clearly out how to structure your episode. Like, okay, this is your character-centric episode. Next one, let's do a public challenge, and then tease for the next person's centric episode. And so, like, depending on like how many characters you have, how long it takes to kind of resolve these like their problems, it can lengthen the campaign. Generally, I estimate about like 10 episodes a season, and then like what we envision for like if you want to continue it, that's where the secret societies come in. So throughout the whole episodes, you'll be bringing up your notoriety, either like in you're either more scandalous or you're more dignified. And what happens when you reach max scandal and max dignity? And that's where the secret societies come in. They're like people are taking notice of you. And did I answer your question?
Yes, no, I like it. What I really like about that is I think it coherently establishes campaigns along like narrative beats and emotional beats, which feels a lot more coherent to me than sometimes setting things up just mechanically and being like the emotions and the narrative and the flow will happen around it kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I like that when you're looking at it like a creative thing, you're thinking what is the through line and making it really easy for people to plug in to that.
Yes, exactly. So we have like a guide so that you can know like what pieces to like put inside your season planning. And then just the reason like we use language like scene cues, director, it's just to move away from the thing where you need to like follow a character for every single step of the way. You can like flash forward and cut a scene and like, oh, actually I have an idea for a scene. Can we just go back like the day before and like, like you said, like flashback or the kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Sam, you got to run Flabbergasted. You may be the first one to ever run Flabbergasted on stream. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what it was like to run the game.
Hi, my name is Sam.
Mentally prepared. Okay.
Hi, my name is Sam. I make games about everyday people and absurd violence and occasionally Christianity. As Yijen said, he likes to push me to explore dumb things, and one of those things is Capitalites, a game of urban Asian role playing. I call it a post-BOB game because it's a BOB game which doesn't use tokens. But it's not about Capitalites. You can find me on itch.io on Twitter at BabbleGumSam. I've run a lot of Blaze in the Dark. Not a lot, but like a fair amount. And it's quite hard to run because it's quite hard to run in the sense that it's very improv heavy. And this is like that. It's not a bad thing because like during the improv, like you get to play with a lot of things. You get to like push the story in directions you didn't expect and trying your best to play off the players, right? And the idea is like if they want to do a paranormal or occult thing, you have to sort of like try and be creative as how to make it fit the theme, even if it hits in that direction. And it's like I think it does. It does have the same appeal as Blades in the Dark. Sorry, not sorry to compare. But
It's okay.
it's a good alternative if you don't want to, if you want to have something a bit more whimsical. I think the theme is very strong as well. Like the whole aesthetic. I think if like I showed this a few of my friends, and they immediately caught on to it because I knew they would like it. And I think
Nice.
there's a lot of space to play around. Yejen messaged me on the site, oh, what if we had a Kamen Rider fan club? And like, you can.
A what?
You a Kamen Rider fan club. Don't worry about that.
Now you gotta. That's why I texted you in the side, because now you gotta explain what Kamen Rider is.
No. Basically, if you want to do any form of social club and go on adventures wherever, it fits, and I like that. It doesn't have it's not, you're not stuck to the crime aspect, even though you can be a crime organization.
Yeah.
You can be like a PG-13 version of Peaky Blinders if you want to. So yeah, I think this is really more of a tool set that players can take and use to run once again to a groove, because I think the make or break for these sort of games is whether or not how the players react to it, right? Because it's not intrusive. The rules are not intrusive. It's very easy to understand. Scene cues are easy to use. It's overall, like, we didn't really use Lucky Coin, but we didn't need to. So yeah, it's a very nice tool set to run a game with this sort of DNA, and I would use it in place of Blades if I'm too lazy to teach everybody to teach Blades. And honestly, we're probably going to play Blades, so we're going to play this. So this is actually quite.
You should play Flabbergasted Duskfall instead of. Yeah. Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask Floor?
Oh,
sorry, Sam. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I want to point out that it is quite classist, not in a bad way. That's part of the appeal. But I'm just wondering how you approach, like, how you set out to approach that. Because the aristocrat has this thing, I'm an aristocrat, I love liberty, I hate equality, which is kind of a dickish thing to say. But at the same time, I'm like, I like this character because, you know, they are a bit dickish. So like, what was your approach to this? And also, I think we mentioned before the stream, right? Like, there's a character literally called the Help. And so like, how do you approach writing that? That's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's so it's like we took a lot of like care into, like, as we were writing it, we were realizing like oh, I don't want this to be like, I want to feel like they're like subjugating to someone else, or make it don't feel like they're not on equal footing, because ultimately we're just, you're just all trying to tell like just a funny story together. Like, for where this came from was just like our source, like our inspiration, and like we were really inspired by certain stories like I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Jeeves and Wooster. Mm-hmm. It's like a very classic bumbling aristocrat, and like, like very dignified his butler who like helps behind the scenes and like orchestrates everything. I'm quite a big fan of like a lot of like period pieces like Downton Abbey. So for me, like, this place came from like a big place of love. Like, I just enjoy these stories a lot. And I don't know, like, this subject matter is like, at least these characters are quite beloved, like I'm not sure. I'm curious to think what you thought of it, because like I just want to translate our references, like to understand that this is not coming from like a class division thing. We're coming from kind of like a classic literature kind of trope kind of thing. Yeah,
you're looking at the tropes within a genre and choosing, like, 'cause here's the thing, like, especially if you look at the art, like, it's very obvious that in Peccadillo, like, racism is not a thing, right? Like, it's a very diverse, very open space. And even as we were like talking about it at the very beginning, because we were like, we're going to play a little bit into Orientalism, because Jen was like, oh, it'd be kind of interesting if this was a thing. Like, and again, if we have the proper representation for that and we want to play into that, that's an interesting time period piece to play into. But at default, that wouldn't be something that would arise up in a game of Flabbergasted. And I liked the way that it was incorporated in this one. Because, and I think the same thing is true with the class pieces. It feels like commentary, and also like I was immediately drawn to playing the help archetype. Like I never pick first. I always let other people pick what they want, and I'll pick last typically. But I was really excited that nobody said the help, because there is like this presentation of, the help is the competent individual in the group in ways that other people aren't very specifically. Like I do think there is, like, especially in America, that like a term, the help, oftentimes has very like racially charged feelings. And I think that's something to be aware of and to have a conversation around. But from the classist standpoints, I love how self-aware, like the statement that that Sam brought up, like I love equality, like clearly establishes that this is not about the upper class elite being better people. As a matter of fact, there's evident commentary of their classist realities that they are just unaware of, and I think that's a really interesting space to play around in. And so, like, my experience of it was, I love that it's very obvious that these are capable characters who, like, a lot of their scene cues are about not being subservient, but being very effective in the moment to do what needs to be done. And that was something that really spoke to me within that character space. But I'd love to hear what everybody else thought also.
Oh, I had the thought, like, if I'm with my friends here, it'd be interesting if we played like an Orientalism club, where we go to the Orient and look at their culture and do questionable things. That would be quite fun to make fun of. But I'm not gonna do it openly, not in public.
No.
But
I thought it was super cool with this group too, like, because when I say 1920s, in America, my natural thought is a certain aesthetic and things like that. And I love PG Woodhouse and like Jeeves and Wooster and all that too. So like I love that time period. But then you were bringing up like, okay, what was happening in Malaysia at this time? Oh, there were a group of watercolorists who went here, and like where is this? I love the idea of Peccadillo being so international that anybody can kind of pick it up and be like, what is kind of happening here, where all these cosmopolitan influences and kind of the direction that you guys got to bring to it, where I was like, I got to learn all of these cool things that I wouldn't have, thought to put in my game, or, if I was playing with somebody else, but I got to like learn about that part of history in this area, or like, the culture that I wouldn't have, it makes it so much more interesting than the like, whatever assumptions I would naturally bring to it.
Any other thoughts from anyone about that? The classist pieces. I did love, like, I Googled a lot of things during this because I was like, when was Rilke alive? Like, that was like one of the first things I Googled, and like, just I just wanted to know how, because we were talking about poetry a lot, and I was like, like Rilke would have been towards the end of their life and would have been in, like, a contemporary during this time frame, right?
Yeah, I literally that was the name escaping me.
You couldn't think of, and I was wondering if that's who you kept on meaning to grab. And so when you talk about German poetry, and then I was like, when we were talking about how we were going to dress up Jack like a ghost, I was like, when did Madame Curie live exactly, and how aware are we that of radium and radioactive material at this point in history? Like, there's like, it is interesting because this is such an expansive time, and I think especially within the American lens, if you're not a historian, like, we have flappers and gangsters and prohibition in the 1920s coming out of World War I, and not a lot of other necessary natural conceits that we are driven to unless we read a lot of other pieces. But because of the international flair of this, it pulls in just a whole lot of other pieces that make you think about, okay, well, like, what is happening? What is that explosion? How does technology work? And being able to work in some of that in a very anti-canon way of, like, it doesn't actually matter what reality was like in the 1920s. We're able to pick the parts we want about this explosion of innovation and art and these and people wrestling with classism at that point in time, and start to deconstruct that in a comedic way. I wish I had more time to spend getting used to how my character was talking. I'll include a lingo sheet in the quick start that I thought was absolutely great, and would have loved to include more of that into it. because I think it.
We usually encourage lucky coins for people who can throw in a few of these words in,
Oh, there you go. That's a good thing. And so, but yeah, it is an absolutely beautiful game, incredibly well laid out. I had a blast playing. I was really interested to see what would come of it, and as soon as it started taking a dark, like as soon as it was like the book it's red writing and the book is kind of warm, and I'm like, oh, I love that we have a flabbergasted 1920 Necronomicon like in the middle of this setting. And even with all that, it was still maintained a lot of the different elements that I think makes a game like this great. And I want to echo what Sam said about this is very easy to pick up and run. Like Jen came in an hour beforehand, made a character, we walked through it. Even the character creation and the club process was very quick and very swift, and there wasn't a whole lot of mechanical heft to the club, but there was way more narrative heft. And I think specifically with Blades, which I know is I love Blades, which is why comparing this is absolutely a compliment, because especially the club told us what we were going to do narratively. And in Blades, the crew that you have doesn't really. Like, it might tell you your approach on a lot of things, but it doesn't actually tell you what you care about. It doesn't take you through the process as well as this did of like, what are things that are publicly challenging you right now? Not just other factions or organizations, though it does that, but specifically like, what do you care about and what are some of the challenges in that? And so like, hey, there's a museum that has this art exhibit from Egypt, and we're like all into archaeology, so we're all going to go check that out, and that's where things take place. Or we like throwing fancy dinner parties, so we're going to plan a big one and have a bunch of people come and try to, and like those things give very clear directions to the GM about this is where this, or the director about this is where this is headed, in a way that other crew systems don't. And it seems like it would be so much easier to run and know what the group wants with the club setup as opposed to other things like a crew. But I also just I think about players around my table who love to do art and being able to say, make the emblem for our club. And a lot of these things that you can kind of play up, and even the slogan where I'm like, we'll workshop that. And we didn't come back to it, but I can imagine if you don't know an answer, you can be, because you're a new club, you can be having conversations about figuring that out as you go. And those kind of things that bleed player and character narrative for me make a game far more immersive, because I'm thinking about it while my character is thinking about it also too. And I like I said, I love that. And then again, I was curious, if we were rolling too much, not enough, because you're always especially with narrative heavy games, it's always a question. I thought Sam did a really great job of balancing that out. But I love the scene cues. I mean, you get 4 of them in a session, and we play we created characters, created a club, and played our first session in 2 hours, right? I mean, we if we were sitting around a table, may have taken more time, but that's an incredibly quick startup, full creation, club creation, and first session process. And so it feels like a game that can easily be played in 90 minutes to 2 hours, which I think the cinematic structure reinforces really well. My question is a super nerdy one, and that is, you guys have some good toolkit pieces in there about how to guide people into saying did you guys look at the script change mechanic at all as an option for helping players navigate safety and other stuff like that, which is it's a toolkit by Bo Sheldon, and it has a cinematic flair to it. So it's pause, stop, fast forward, scene by scene. It lets you have some narrative flow control that works a lot of the way that Lines and Veils does, but embraces a cinematic mindset. Have y'all ever heard of that system or anything else?
No, in fact, I want to know the name so I can look it up.
Yeah, I'll send you a link afterwards.
Yes.
I'll use different ones. I always kind of theme my toolkits around what the game is a little bit. And for one of my cinematic games, it works far better than Lines and Veils does, because it starts engaging players and directors or protagonists and directors in using cinematic language. And I think the game does that so well, and that's why it plays so smoothly. Even the natural tendency to want to flash back that Jen brought up, or look sideways, or all these other things. The game is written in a way that really encourages you to do that, which speeds up play a whole lot, because you don't all have to be in the same scene, but you can all be narrating at the same time and, side screening each other and other things like that in a really satisfying way. And so, anyone can always do that with any game that they play, but I love games that embrace that because it keeps things from getting bogged down in crunch. And so, that everybody hit a lot of my other questions already, so that was the only super nerdy inside baseball thing I had. You said you're launching September 28th, and so it'll be coming up in a couple weeks. I'll also have more of my thoughts on a polished review that we're going to do for our TLDP series, and so that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Keep an eye out for that, everybody. But Fleur, tell us a little bit about what some of the plans are, why you're doing a Kickstarter, and what some of your hopes are with the Kickstarter.
Yeah, so we decided to go with Kickstarter mostly because I got quite a lot of experience last year. I started working with I was working with a board game company and just in fact helping them, apart from with graphic design, helping them run Kickstarter campaigns. I just dove straight in with them and managing the whole pages, getting ads and videos for it, comments, that kind of stuff. And I really like the experience. It's very, very hectic. You're up 12 hours a day checking comments constantly. And then you're because I'm in a different, European time zone, answering people from all over the world at different times. And it's very hectic, but I was really energized by it. And I got a lot of first-hand experience in what goes on behind the scenes on a Kickstarter campaign, because I thought I knew how Kickstarters are run just from being a supporter of Kickstarter campaigns. And I've contributed before art to other campaigns. I thought I know how to do this, and then we went into it and I'm there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. But I got the confidence, and I helped them raise a lot of quite big round of funds. I'm there's, in theory, I should be able to do this myself. So we decided to launch this venture, a solo venture, and see the whole process through, the whole way from just the conception all the way to fulfillment, which has been a learning experience as well to plan out for. Our hope is that this campaign, the most basic one is that I want to make a game that people want to play, and that we deliver it. We give you a nice produced, polished book of this, and that we can distribute that well when smoothly. But our main goal though is to raise enough funds so that we could ideally do this full time, me and my sister. And we have ideas for more games, even expansions for Flabbergasted. There's probably we have an idea for a magic one as well. And bring in more archetypes and that kind of stuff. And hopefully we can start doing 2 projects a year on Kickstarter or other crowdfunding stuff, and just keep on being able to work full time and creating stuff for the tabletop role playing space.
Awesome. I'm super excited about it. I also want to shout out both, again, the link is down at the bottom of the screen or in the descriptions for anybody who's watching this now or later. I popped your site up real quick because people can go get the quick start, use the same materials that we did, see the video for the Kickstarter campaign, the link out, and get notified when it goes live. But I also did want to mention, this is not your first game. Y'all have done a set of murder mysteries. And by the way, I'm assuming this is your graphic design on these other 2 games, and it is amazing. It's 100% my jam. I want to find a time to work with you on something in the future, because I love the style of this art. But y'all have these 2 other murder mysteries, and it makes both of them sound so amazing, and both of them make me want to play them online. So I just I would play them in person, but we're still at a place where I would probably be everybody get dress up and get fancy. We're all going to sit down and eat dinner together and do one of these also too. But you've got Murder at God's Grave Keep and In the Shadow of the Lord. I think they both look phenomenal. I want to encourage people to go to your website, period, use that link below, sign up to get notified for the Kickstarter, but also check out the other games y'all have. I love the LARP and pro-social aspects of a lot of what comes up when someone is doing a game, doing murder mystery stuff. So I think it's such a great entry point into other types of play, both rolling and board games, role play and board games. So I wanted to point those out because I think it's a really cool thing, and love to see a sister team that are pursuing those. So again, that goes live on the 28th, and people should go check it out at the link down below. Just a reminder that we also have a game that's live right now over over on Gamefound. You can go to ttrpg.link/DWGLive in order to check that out. It is a minimalist, old school style role-playing game that's got a global team that's helping develop it. It's designed by Marcus Linderum, and it's been an absolute blast to create. It's currently funded, but we're still working on stretch goals. We're about $1,500 away from unlocking our next one. We unlocked one yesterday also too, and that's going to be another adventure pamphlet for Down We Go. So go check those out. We don't have a good way to close stream, and we never will, other than just waving at the camera and smiling until I take us off air. Flora, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks everybody else for playing, and hey, happy birthday, Jen, also too.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So.